All right, Baldlands. What can we expect from Baldlands?
Expect a wide open map. Not a lot of trees except for in the center. Nice custom map by Karyu, and let's actually get that on the screen right now because he's got such a nice custom loading graphic here.
He does. He really does. I can feel the forest fire going.
Yeah, Baldland custom map. I remember when he was developing it, he actually posted it on Reddit back in the summer of 2023. And Soccerton, Sir Neville's, and I did a couple of custom games on here. He watched the stream, but he's gone back. He's refined it. It's now been featured in the midweek muster in EGC tournaments, and here today, the Warchief Club.
Yeah, fantastic. Gully Deckle cheering for Leminos.
And we are loading in. Got the screen right here. Looking at KJJ in the orange as Zushi's legacy. Right across the way, we got Leminos in the green as the French. It's
Yeah,
scouting time.
very interesting matchup. Um, don't forget that Pro Scouts is very powerful, but Laminos might want to delay making more scouts to get a few knights in just to put up some pressure. The map is so open.
Yeah, that really is the thing with French is like you can create those scouts from your school of cavalry, but yeah, you absolutely may want to delay and not just open up the game with a million scouts to get that a couple early knights on the field just to get that pressure so you can develop behind it.
Yeah, absolutely. Even 2TC is falling out of favor now because of just how powerful Pro Scouts is becoming. All it took was a little bit of a nerf on the cost. Just a little bit less, and it's that much more powerful. Looking onto the maps themselves, KJJ with the worst gold spawn of all time. But decent berry spawn, so we might not run out of food there.
Yeah, both players with gold way out in front. Tough stuff against the French. We'll see how KJJ is going to handle that initial pressure with the gold out there. Zushi, though, can certainly get that passive gold from taxes. Not as much of a hindrance, especially if Zushi is looking to just get pro scouts early game and spend that time getting the deer home before focusing on gold. We will see
Yeah,
how it goes.
yeah, we're also talking like if KJJ needs like 20, 30 gold to age up or get a castle age or get that Lancer out or whatever, he can get that idle time on the gold and still get it from that Imperial official. But he has to be careful. He has to micro the Imperial official a little bit because you really don't want it to get killed by the knights.
Yeah, absolutely not. Especially when you're not China, you don't have the academy to make more IOs. You've got to sacrifice another Vil from the town center to get that replacement IO out there.
Uh, yeah, absolutely. Looking at the rest of the map, though, very interesting. So Baldlands, very open in the center, but you have those two massive wood lines, one in the north, one in the south, surrounded by deer, by the two deer packs. So that's an easy location for Leminos to not scout now and scout a little bit later. You also have the boars and some stone there in the north and south corners. With a relic too, I suppose. I think the relics are randomly generated. They are not always in these positions, but they ended up being in this game. And in the south corner, there's even one large gold vein. So position is going to be everything as we head into the mid game, and they want to make sure you expand to the right locations. Um, Having that said, though, other than the terrible gold for KJJ, definitely the worst gold vein of all time. I'm calling it here. The rest of the spawn is pretty good. The secondary gold is on the other side. So one tower or a keep doesn't completely pull them off of gold. That meditation garden is actually really, really, really good. Gets all the resources.
Yeah, a little bit of everything on that one. Yeah, and it is
Yeah.
interesting. We were talking about middle of the map. Those large deer packs right in a line down the center. You know, each player does have a small pack of 3 off to the side of their base on their side of the map. But the rest of these packs are totally up for grabs at this point. And look at that, pro scouts coming in for both players almost simultaneously with the start time on the research. But under the IO supervision, that is going to come out a little bit faster for KJJ.
Also, this
Maybe
though,
not a
for
little bit,
Leminos,
a lot
it's
of it.
so... Oh, I'm sorry, but I was gonna say for Leminos, it's so cheap or so much cheaper that he's also making a knight while getting pro scouts. That is like both players have a massive advantage over the other. Different advantages, but the massive advantage. KJJ is gonna be able to start bumping the deer in much faster.
Yeah, timing versus cost. KJJ able to get the research done quicker, but doesn't actually have a stable right now to capitalize on that. Against the French, you know, he's had to drop a barracks and get a few spearmen out to protect that wood line. So Pro Scouts is in, but there's no actual scout to take advantage of that except for the original scout right now. And we do see that stable on the way as Leminos with his scout and his first knight coming around. Getting a good look at that gold mine you're talking about earlier, but there is nobody home. KJJ has already retreated off of that, knowing it's such an exposed position.
Yeah, absolutely. Doing some luring there with the scout and the knight, Leminos. All right, I think that's the first scout, and wow, okay, this is the first time I'm noticing this. KJJ is microing that scout old school because he wants the deer to be dropped at the mill.
Yeah, or he's actually he might have reset the position because you can hit T on scouts now and choose where the target is going to be for drop-offs.
Drop-off target.
That quality of life update that made pro scouts so viable, adding the ability to change where you want that scout to actually drop the carcasses. Pretty important for Zushi to get it on that mill for the taxes.
Alright, we have a bit of an engagement in the middle. Scout versus Knight. I wonder who wins. Alright, here are the spears.
Spears are going to shift the calculation there, and yeah, they are able to get a good attack. 2 more coming around. Gonna take out that knight. KJJ been pumping spears basically since he dropped that barracks at the start of Feudal. He's got 9 on the field. There's the 10th coming out right now and is starting to add more scouts. And, you know, that spear mass is the perfect thing right now to contest the pro scouts from Leminos. Leminos, though, going into archers, looking to strike back against these spears.
And I think they're also both going for the same packs of deer. Which makes sense. You want to try and get as much of an advantage as you can. KJJ, though, not really utilizing the spears right now. He sees the archers. This could be his cue to make a bit of a change. This is not bad for either player. I think this is still a very even game. KJJ forces Leminos to adjust. Start making a lot of archers right now, which is definitely not ideal, but Leminos is not going to lose to a spear push. Unless he gives up the knights.
Yeah, that hurts. It hurts losing that knight right there. That's 2 of them that have gone down so far that we've seen. You do see KJJ now making that switch right into horseman. He's got just about 6 scouts on the field. Probably doesn't need to make any more. That's enough to almost pull the entire deer pack. And those horsemen are going to be that perfect counter to the archers who were countering those early spears.
Yeah, but the knights are going to be... they are more powerful than the horsemen. As much as they are more expensive, so knights and archers definitely a good composition here for Leminos.
Yeah, it's the classic horseman spear versus knight archer here. And I feel like knight archer just a little harder to micro. At least for me.
I'm sure
those spears, you just send them forward. Horsemen, you can send them forward to jump in, get them on the archers. Archers, a little more delicate, require specific targeting and moving in and out of engagements.
Yeah, also I want to keep in mind for players who might not be aware, KJJ, I'm pretty sure it's on the Tang Dynasty, he gets cheaper age-ups, so he's a lot closer to Castle Age than one might think.
Yeah, not far away at all. I wouldn't be surprised if we see that landmark come down soon. I mean, he has the larger feudal army, and he's about to thin out Leminos' archers here in the Stealth Forest. KJJ's also, just by eyeballing it, been able to secure more deer carcass. So everything right now is in his favor as he picks off that group of archers as they retreat, and now these horsemen are focused on maybe poking down this knight here.
Yeah, definitely don't want to stay there too long, but as long as the archer count is low, you don't get big hits onto the scouts. There's only... yeah, there are only 6 deer left on the map. Good grief, these guys are fast.
Is vacuuming all that up, and yeah, Castle Age almost in for KJJ with the Shaolin Monastery. Going from picking the deer off of the map, now looking to pick the relics off as well, and cement that advantage that he's been able to build for himself in Feudal.
And there we go, the bald guys. There's the first one in production. Bald guys are pretty good, but the knights will still shred them a little bit. Leminos doesn't not want to take this fight, and the knights get pulled back perfectly. And as soon as all of the knights come through, as long as the horsemen don't get anything on the archers, this should be a good fight. Alright, Leminos now wants to take the fight, KJJ doesn't. So we have this interesting back and forth. We have the first 2 knights over here for KJJ, and that should tip the scales.
Well, yeah, we also see veterancy come in for those spears right as KJJ decides to engage, and now this engagement looking like it's going to go into KJJ's favor. Those archers shooting at the horsemen, trying to thin those numbers out. Couple lancers in there, but the spears able to get on top of the French knights. There's just 2 left right now for Leminos. KJJ is going to run this all the way back to the French base, and it doesn't look good.
Doesn't look good, doesn't look pretty. KJJ not even making units at the moment. He's just focused on getting those relics, getting more ahead, as it were. But at least the spear numbers are starting to get thinned out. Oh, but Leminos calls it.
Leminos gonna call it. He knew he was behind, couldn't take a good fight there. I did mention earlier on, I think it's harder to micro, Knight Archer compared to Horseman Spear. And I think we saw that during a couple of engagements there where the archers, unfortunately, were targeting lancers, targeting horsemen, not able to thin out the spear numbers to let those knights comfortably engage into the rest of KJJ's army.
Yeah, I also want to say KJJ, he did a really good job waiting for upgrades. Took him in before committing to a fight. There's nothing worse than fighting and then your upgrades kicking in. Cries in Delhi, I suppose.
Well, I mean, modern Delhi now, and you're going for like 15, 20 scholars into the Castle Age. You click the veterancy, and it's free, and it's coming in at maybe sometimes even a little faster than other civs.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Really interesting game here. I think we saw the power of letting Sushi play pretty much undeserved here. I think Leminos focused too much on trying to get his own pro scouts going and didn't really challenge what KJJ was doing. Was a really nice technical game. I liked it.
Yeah. KJJ doing the right thing, just opening mass spears before committing to creating all of those pro scouts. Just so he had something to both defend against the early knights and also start to contest some of the deer packs. And then he could just add in his own scouts, basically lock down most of those deer packs, and just took that advantage, ran with it, and came out with a win. Going to Lakeside, gonna see some Delhi on water, some China on water, coming at you right now. Game 2, KJJ versus Leminos.
Yeah, so we have in the red trunks, it's KJJ as the Delhi, and in the pink, it is Leminos as the Chinese. Very interesting that we have a bit of completely different civs here, completely different style of game. China, of course, the longer the game goes, the more powerful they seem to be. And usually when you want to win is early, but they also have that very powerful Juggernaut all in. I don't think it's going to come into play because of the water. Looking into the water, you have this little bay here to the northeast. Yeah, that's right. I know my maps.
You know your directions.
I know my directions. You only have 2 deep water fish, which severely limits the power of this water. Unlike what we had in Boulder Bay, which would be the version of this map, I suppose. And on the other side, you have all of this deer. I don't know. I'm not even going to count. It's so many deer, and gold, and one of the sacred sites, and 1 relic. So all of the map is worth fighting for. Fighting for the water, I guess it's not as important as on other water maps, but still good to fight for.
Yeah, less of a payout. And one of those things, because this is, I believe, the newest official map. And so it's in the ranked pool right now. And if you're not familiar, if you haven't seen this map being played in tournaments or what have you, if you haven't done a practice game on it before queuing in, you might see the water on Lakeside and think like, oh, this is a normal hybrid map. I'm going to do my standard water opening, and then realize you're not going to get much out of it. There is a deep water fish. There's a couple of shallow fish nodes, but it is not the be-all, end-all most hybrid maps have. With the
also
all the food
very
you get
interesting.
from fish.
You have this massive cliff on either side, which prevents you from just setting up a bunch of docks.
Yeah, you got to go all the way around if you're going to drop that. But it does open the door for some cheeky transport ship plays later on in the game if you don't have any real vision down here, because it is a lot of stealth forest down on the waterfront. You do open yourself up to a sneak attack coming across the lake towards your base from the backside.
Yeah, alright, let's look into what the players are doing right now. So KJJ completely skipping the water. Going for the Dome of the Faith, so scholars come at a discount of 55 gold, which is a massive discount.
Mm-hmm.
Like they usually cost 130. So being at this massive discount, they cost 85. My math is correct.
Yeah, certainly there's a reason why Dome of the Faith is now overtaken Tower of Victory again to become the landmark of choice for the Delhi.
Yeah, Tower of Victory still has its place, though.
Yep. If you're gonna do a feudal all-in, if you're gonna rely heavily on archers to accomplish that, Tower of Victory is still a decent call.
Or if you plan on using men-at-arms to their fullest, that's also a good call. But Dome of the Faith still very, very powerful. Yeah, and also another big part of why this is powerful is what Peel was telling us after the latest game. It's funny, that was a nice little segue here. If you get a lot of scholars, you your techs much faster, and this allows you to get your scholars for cheap. Also, once you start getting those techs in, you let the scholars outside of the mosques, and lo and behold, you have 1,000,000 scholars to heal your elephants. That's pretty good.
Yeah. It plays really nicely into use them to tech up, and then you've got them all on the field. Ever since those elephants got buffed, it's certainly been a core part of the Delhi composition from Castle Age and later on. They were kind of a joke unit before. They're certainly seeing prominence for the Delhi now. Joke unit, hype unit, maybe. But now elephants are everywhere.
Alright. Leminos and Fiddle Age with the Imperial Academy. Gonna be focusing heavily on that economy. If you pay attention to Leminos' water, he stopped at 3 ships. I don't think he needs any more. Honestly. Could go for like 2 more for the far deep water fish. I personally don't think it's worth it. I don't think the pros think it's worth it either. But we haven't watched much of this map yet. Players are still learning how to navigate this map. As we've been mentioning, it's such a different map to all of the other variations of Boulder Bay that we've been seeing. But this is a lot of fun. Alright, so we have pro scouts coming in for KJJ. Only takes 2 minutes and 30 seconds or something like that.
Yeah, and Leminos just needing, looks like the last bit of wood to start getting professional scouts himself. If he's able to supervise that mill, it's only going to take him 30 seconds to get that in. Once he does start the research. But yeah, this is, you know, you think it's going to be a hybrid map with all this water, but actually the food that you are aiming for is all along this cliff on the west side of the map here. So much deer ready to be taken, ready to be brought home and harvested under the TC or a mill if you're China.
Yeah, so in my very modest opinion, the big value of getting water in this map is actually the possibility for trade with the coastal trade posts. It allows for some very interesting play here. Look at KJJ. He's gonna mass with the dock of Leminos. Definitely gonna guarantee that it's there, and that worker might as well not be long for this world.
Yeah, that villa's in trouble. The Ghazi Raiders focused on the dock. They're going to burn it down. Professional Scouts is being researched right now by Leminos, but I don't believe that mill is being supervised by an IO. It looks like the IOs are on the barracks and the lumber camp here, so it's not going to come in as fast as possible. Leminos, though, looking to go up to Song Dynasty, dropping a Barbican a few miles from home, trying to secure the deer in the middle and prevent those scouts from taking its spears accompanying the Vills. Able to find some Ghazi Raiders. KJJ will scout this out, but that Barbican is not going to be stopped.
No. Oh my god, and Leminos was forced to get a ship.
But yeah, that villager finally gets killed, but the archer ship comes out, will drive the Ghazi and scout away. Dock is going to stay up for the time being. You can see that mass starting to build in the center of the map for KJJ. Looking to capture that middle sacred site. There's 2 of them on the map, and the Barbican is actually going to block an easy capture. So Leminos will limit KJJ to just 1 sacred site for the time being.
Yeah, which is a blow. Definitely a blow for KJJ. But KJJ, I think, wants to go to Feudal Age very quickly. No, he's trying to get a scholar to just go around. Alright, so time to start messing up his army here for both guys, really. No, wait, actually, Leminos is, wow, Leminos is still in gold. His macro was a little bit weird right now.
Yeah, he was harvesting. I saw a lot of gold in early feudal. Not sure what the plan was to spend that gold on. I mean, he got pro scouts from it, but I think that's all his gold has really been invested in so far, except for some of the techs at the Imperial Academy. We did see a little raid on the woodline, a couple of Ghazi raiders. You can see them right now on the south side of Leminos' woodline, looking for an angle to come in. There are spears mixed in with the Vils, and it looks like Leminos is planning on walling that. The Vil moves out, though, at the wrong time. Exposed to the Ghazi raiders, which will pick up that Vil kill, their third of the game.
Wow, and it looks like it's gonna be a fourth. No, they're attacking with. Oh no, KJJ messed that up a little bit. That's another worker kill. And it's gonna be another one. That worker has 1 HP. Okay, it is that. But both Ghazi Raiders and the Scout are dead, so. Alright, it's 5 Owen worker kills, which is good, I guess. But
Yeah, lost to quite a
KJJ
few Ghazis, and
Yeah.
but Song Dynasty is there. I mean, the Vil count is even at this point. Leminos just pulling ahead. Now, I do need to say that 4 of those are fishing ships, but they still have enough to work on right now.
Yeah, they absolutely do. Wow, poor Leminos is gonna have to play this one perfectly. I think it's not gonna have any room for error whatsoever. Otherwise, I think he's gonna die because we have the House of Learning going up for KJJ.
Yeah, that is on the way. That will be completed shortly. Taking a look at the production buildings. Looks like we got 1 stable, 1 range, both with a scholar inside. The barracks being created currently. And on the Chinese side, we've got a range, a stable, and a barracks as well. So it's going to be 1-1-1 for production for both players right now, and both with production boosts, either from the Garrison Scholars or from IO's supervising. And here come those Castle Age techs for KJJ. Taking a look at the House of Learning, it will be pikes first, giving those archers additional range, followed by hardy rations, and then honed blades.
Alright, Leminos smelling a little bit of blood here. He can try and gain some momentum before the techs come in. And the Lord knows he needs it. Well, Leminos is coming from behind here. His army is not great. I think it's very weak. There's some good archers here.
Yeah,
Right,
I think it would have been strong enough for the time being, I think, to deal with what KJJ had if he wanted to stick around on the point. Leminos didn't know anything coming in for reinforcements for KJJ. We do see that tech switch into Men-at-Arms. Leminos is going to have to find an answer to that.
Wow.
Look
This
at all
is
that gold.
This is absolutely ignorant. KJJ has 4 relics to none. 4 relics, 1 sacred site. He's starting to make Castle Age gold units, has 13 scholars. And as soon as the techs come in, like, he's letting the scholars go. And they are gonna get started on healing his big units. Whether that's the Men-at-Arms or the elephants. Usually, like, people like healing the elephant. Obviously, it's like 600 HP. Why wouldn't you? But yeah, Leminos is behind again. He's still behind, but he's not dead. Gonna age up with the Imperial Palace. It's gonna be pretty good. He's gonna be able to see where there are workers, which is it's kind of a meme pack.
Huge sight range on that. KJJ, though, his macro is telling me he's going to Imp. He has stopped all production, really, except for a few more scholars. I think he's banking everything to get up to Imperial.
Oh, look at those archers. Veteran with attack and range. So they now have 5.5 tile range, which is... It's not quite there with Longbowmen. Imagine Longbowmen having this stack. Ugh.
Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
Attacking from the other side of the map. That's
All snipers.
that,
Well,
that's the stuff. That's the stuff of nightmares.
mm-hmm. Ghazi's coming in looking to block the decap. That Palace of the Sultan is currently under construction. About halfway there to Imperial.
Yeah, produces the Sultan's elite tower dumbos. So those have guns, I think. These are the ones that have guns or crossbows?
I believe those have the guns. You got your tower elephants with the crossbows. You got your regular elephants with the melee attack, and then your Sultan's elephants with guns.
So big men with guns is scary. Big elephants with guns is even more scary.
And now we've got those Imperial techs coming in. KJJ with about 20 scholars.
This is nasty. So, yeah, one thing that I almost forgot was Dive Barns. That was a thing. So, Dive Barns with 4 relics is nasty. And Leminos just got the Castle Age. He does have Palace Guards and... Like, he's making Palace Guards, which I think are a good unit, but doesn't have enough to really kill KJJ, because once the techs come in, and he has a keep producing workers as well. No, he's actually not going to be producing workers right now. I don't think he has the tech for it, but yeah, the site's going to get decapped. KJJ has to start expanding and start adding military buildings, and that's what he's doing. Leminos has a bit of a timing window where he can even the game, but he has to take advantage of it. He's going to decap, and I think he's going to try to get some damage. But once the units come flooding in, like KJJ has a better economy, so he's going to be able to flood more units. Ooh, the scouts are not a match for horsemen here for KJJ, but the rest of the army is. There's Ghazi Raiden. So talk us unit comp. What do you think that both guys should be doing here?
Well, I think KJJ is gonna move into elephants as the main part of the unit comp. I'm thinking, you know, elephant and elephant archer potentially could be the way to go for KJJ. He can basically do whatever he wants right now. Elite upgrades coming in. We do see men at arms becoming elite for KJJ. Leminos though, adding some spears, adding some more Zhugs, trying to beef up that army before he gets run over. But we are going to see those elephant counts start to climb for KJJ, and with you got 22 scholars, soon to be 25. Those are going to be very, very, very difficult to kill. But KJJ just biding his time right now, waiting for those Imperial Age techs to finally finish up. And at that point, he'll have enough units to probably take out Leminos.
Yeah. Village Fortress, less than a minute to go. 1 minute and 10 seconds with the amount of scholars he has. Right, Dive Barns is complete. Let's see those resources come to life. Do you know what Dive Barns are?
I know what the tech is. I don't know what they are in real life.
Oh. Do you know what the tithe is?
Yeah, it's giving to the church.
It's the giving to the church. You have to give 10% of anything you produced. Most people in medieval Europe, especially medieval UK, would be producing some cereal. Barley, wheat, something like that. 10% of that would go to barns. So they'd go to these tithe barns. The problem was there would be more rats than people in those barns most of the time. So nobody would be able to consume 10% of everything that's ever produced. So
gonna jump in real quick. Sorry to interrupt the Tithe Barn history, but we've got a handful of palace guards inside of the Delhi base sneaking around here. They're looking for targets, but they're really not going to find much. They'll find a war elephant and engage into that. And 5 scholars come out. The Wololo is in effect.
Oh, what a play. Well, that was a big fail if I ever saw one. But nice try from Leminos. The scouts are going to die. And I think that's it.
Yeah, not accomplishing much. cheeky little play to sneak those units in. Not going to be effective, and now we've got a fight close to the Barbican. And this mass of Zhugnu not going to do much. The spears are down. KJJ establishing a keep in the middle. Elephants moving on to the Barbican. That keep is not going to be denied. That will go up for Delhi. Villagers jumping inside, only one getting picked off. Elephants on the Barbican to the south of that engagement. This keep now thinning out the units from Leminos. He's down to 22 on the field, going against elephants and elite units. I'm thinking we're gonna see GG called any second now.
Yeah, Leminos now will KJJ will take the sacrifice. And Leminos back to the drawing board. Just doesn't have a lot of units. Fortunately for him, the counters are a little bit obvious. He's gonna have to continue using spears and crossbowmen. And hope he can take good fights, but I don't think he can.
Yeah, and I don't think he's gonna have the numbers by the time the Delhi army rolls into the Chinese base. They are moving in. Leminos trying to reinforce as fast as possible. You can see it is gonna be spear crossbow coming out. Delhi now captured the second sacred site, so that timer has started, and elephants now engaging into the Chinese army.
Yeah, elephants are pretty slow though, so there's something there for Leminos if he's able to take really good fights. But Leminos just, man, I really don't know. There's so much army, and elephants have 1275 HP. This is absolutely ignorant, and yeah, Leminos calls it.
Yeah, unfortunately, and you can see in the back there were reinforcements not with that group engaging into the elephants. I don't think it would have made a huge difference in the long run, but the army was split up, and yeah, elephants could just roll over everything Leminos had.
Yeah, but thank you, Leminos, for playing. You're always a good soldier. The games are always fun. I just think KJJ was just too much to handle.
Yeah, strong player for sure, but that is, you know, one of the selling points of the Warchief Club is that anybody can sign up, and you can get yourself some good practice against high-level players.
Yeah, KJJ, one of those people would say tier 3, right? Not really beastie, not really sass level, but right under there, so definitely fantastic practice. Yeah, but that's the series. KJJ moves over to the second round.